2. Welcome to Shoot Time in the Morning
with Mitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shoot Time in the Morning with Mitch. We are here building our muscles, building our bodies, going to keep the learning continuing right on down the line with a new muscle of the day, and we are going to jump right in. All right, before we head over, I want you to remember there are 2 types of exercises for the human body: isolation exercises and compound exercises. All right, very simply explained one more time: an isolation exercise is an exercise that moves only one joint at a time. So, if I were to be sitting in a leg extension rack, which we don't have, but leg extension, all right, I would be holding the chair and extending my knees with weight and lowering them back down. Clearly, only one joint is moving, the one in the middle of my legs, my knees. So therefore, it's one joint isolation. When I squat, however, come all the way down and up, all right? I have my knees moving, my hips moving, my spine is moving a little bit, even though it should be straight. You don't really want your spine to move, and my ankles are moving. That's 4 joints, all right? That means it's a compound joint, which basically means that multiple muscles are working at once, all right? Isolation means one muscle is working at once. All right, we're going to head over in just about 30 seconds. Before, we're going to have a word from Mr. Morningweg.
I'm not going to even explain it. Just find Ducko. Where's Ducko? Last week a little bit easier.
Where's Ducko?
Let's hear it, guys. Let's hear the quack. Quack.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Let's find Ducko. Here we go, guys.
That sounds like a weird quack to me. Quackers.
Well, he was odd man out. The odd man out. Where is that quacker? Where is he? Where is that quacker?
There's Mr. Morning. He's pretty quackers.
He's quacked out, all right.
No, I don't see him. What color is that duck anyway?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the weight room, today we're going to learn about our biceps. Our biceps are muscles that control the flexing of our elbow, our arm at the elbow joint, right? Now, you can work 1 bicep at a time or 2 biceps at a time. Remember, we've done compound movements already that work the bicep. The chin-up, the pull-up, all right? They work the bicep. But we're going to show you how to work and focus on just your biceps today. One exercise that many of you probably know already, but we're going to give you an example. 2 different styles. We can use the machine, or we can use a dumbbell. And I'm going to start with the dumbbell. All right? Come over here. You're going to grab a dumbbell, bring it back to the station. You can do this standing, or you can do it seated, all right? I'm going to do it seated so we get a better view here, just so you can see, all right? When I'm working out any muscle, I want to know what muscles I'm working, and then want to focus on using those muscles to do the movement. Now, what that means is, I know I'm using my bicep to work flex my elbow, all right? That means I take the weight, and I can do the curl, which I'm going to show you very, very efficiently, by utilizing the mind-muscle connection, right? Now I want to use my bicep, I keep my arm straight, and I just flex, and I make sure I'm focused on starting and finishing the muscle, or finishing the movement with that muscle. All right? The reason I say you want to focus on it is because what happens often, and Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Morningweg, you both teach weightlifting, you can attest to this, people try to use their whole body to do a movement. They want to put momentum in. That's not working your bicep. That's working everything but your bicep, going all the way through, right? You want to focus on your bicep. Hold the dumbbell in your hand. You can hold it so your palms are facing outwards. That's supine, all right? You can hold it so you're pronated, or you can hold it with a hammer grip. Either which way, as you do a curl, you should be flexing your bicep and slowly lower it back down. And the only joint moving, other than my mouth, my jaw right now, is my elbow joint. Up and down.
Where do you keep that elbow, Mr. Schumann?
You want to keep the elbow right on your side, as close to your body as possible, so there's no leeway of it going out. All right?
Because if the elbow moves out, what happens?
Well, then you start recruiting other muscles, and you have bad form. And in the worst case scenario, depending on how much weight you have, you can injure your elbow. So bring it up either which way. Hammer grip, regular supine grip, or you can do it reverse grip, and that's going to have slight changes on the two heads of your bicep, but they both work your biceps. Everything you do on one side, you want to do to the other, all right? Same thing, elbow close to your body, and you want to just focus on moving the weight with your bicep muscle. Now, how many reps are we shooting for, guys? 10, all right? And for beginners like yourself, 3 sets of 10. Now, this is 5 or this is 8. It's very easy for Mr. Shoemake, but for you, it might be heavy. So you start light, and then you go up by the smallest amount that you can. You start with a 2.5, and then you go by Sasoi, or
Small incremental steps of
improvement, all right? So the smallest amount. Don't try to be Superman right off the bat, all right? Start small, and then keep working up, keep building, and you will grow accordingly. That's with the dumbbell.
And how do you know you have the right weight, Mr. Shoemake? How do you know which weight is perfect for you when you're doing a set?
Because when I'm working, all right, 10 reps we're shooting for, 2, I'm going to fast forward, 5, 7, 9, 10. 10 is stressful, it's difficult, and you probably couldn't do an 11th one. That means that you could accomplish the 10, it's doable, but if you did 11, it would be very challenging or impossible, all right? If you can do 9, 10, woo, dance around, you don't have enough work on you. You got to make it work harder for you. So you should always make sure that you have, as Mr. Mitchell said, no pain, no gain. The hard work comes from when you are working all the way through and the last couple of reps that your arm should be burning. The pain is really soreness, but it's an extreme soreness that lets you know you're working out. If you have extreme sharp pain, then that might be an injury. You don't want to push it. So there's a difference. But soreness is a good thing, and lets you know you're working out. Matter of fact, Mr. Mohammed, why go put the dumbbell back? Maybe you can tell them the story about what Muhammad Ali says.
Yes, Muhammad Ali said that you don't start counting repetitions until you feel the burn. So if you're doing 10, and on number 10, Mr. Mitchell, you start feeling the burn, Muhammad Ali said you don't start counting until the 10th one. So 9, 10, you say in your mind, ooh, this is burning, then you start counting your 10 reps. That's why he was so great. Look him up, Muhammad Ali.
I like Ali. My kids know about Ali. He's on my webpage. He's right there. He's the first thing you see when you go on to Mr. Mitchell's class. You see Ali, and Ali was a stud when it came to boxing. He was the best.
All right, we're going to show you one more machine here. This machine is designed to help you do the biceps as well. It's the same motion, guys. The bicep is designed for one motion, but we have a different machine doing it. You have a number of weights there, all right? You're going to select a weight that you think is good for you, all right? I'll start at 50, right? And then on the ground, you got 2 handles, all right? I'm going to pick the handles up in my hands, and then I'm going to stand up straight. As I'm standing up straight, where do my elbows go? Right next to my body, all right? My hands can face either which way, and then I can curl. Only muscle movement is my bicep. Only joint movement is my elbow joint. Curl it right up, squeeze at the top, and lower it down. Do the other arm, squeeze at the top, and lower it down. Or I can do both at the same time. Squeeze at the top, and lower it down. Only joints move right now, other than my big mouth, is my elbows.
Notice his back isn't swaying, his legs aren't moving, he's totally still. And that's totally the perfect way to do a bicep curl. When he was sitting, he cut his legs totally out just by sitting. And that's why doing curls when you're sitting is sometimes a good idea, because then you can't rock and try and get that bicep to go up where you want it to go, get that weight up high. So if you look at Mr. Shoemake one more time, you'll see only his arms are moving. Everything else is still as can be.
Also, guys, notice this is a big mistake a lot of my students make. They have got a lot of space in this area. Notice his elbows are almost connected to his ribs. So
right.
He's really isolating that bicep.
Let me just show you really quick what they're talking about and what not to do. What often happens is the elbows are out. You guys, I understand, but you want to see, I wonder how much I can lift. It's not about how much you can lift. It's about how much you're performing and how much is being transferred to your bicep. But you put a lot of weight on there, it's too heavy for you to do the form properly. So rather than do the form properly, you put your body into it, and you're working every joint in your body's moving. All right? That's not going to help you develop your bicep.
That looks like a good dance move, though, Mr. Shoemake.
It's a very good one.
Mr. Shaky.
And one last one, excuse me, Mr. Mitchell.
You bet.
Before we go, same movement. If you have the strength for it, you'll notice, now that you understand how the bicep works in a bicep curl, when we do a chin up, you can notice it's the same thing. Right? Down we go, up we go. Down, up we go. All right? Now, just like that, pulling ourselves up is just like a bicep curl. All the support is right there in the bicep, but that's a compound movement. My shoulders move too, which means it involves the latissimus dorsi.
Quick question, Mr. Shoemake. What's more difficult and why between a pull-up and
Chin up.
chin up?
Well, it depends on the person actually. But usually the chin up is a little bit easier because you have more bicep muscle involved and it's a normal grip for most people. Most people don't grip things going the opposite direction. So pulling yourself with your arms close together is usually a little bit easier. But when you work at it, the pull-up actually becomes easier because this latissimus dorsi is a lot bigger than this bicep. So if you strengthen this, the strength potential for your latissimus dorsi is enormously more than your bicep.
Excellent. Thank you.
Let's hit on that, guys.
Let's do it.
We miss you in this weight room.
We do.
Got the ellipticals, the blank board because no one's here, the empty yet clean boys' locker room.
Yeah, I was telling my class, the locker room's never smelled so good in its life.
Just give them one period, it'll be done.
I'm not going to say I miss that smell, but you know.
Definitely not.
Mr. Mitchell, when you said don't rock when you remind me of that song. Rock of ages, down, 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 down. Rock of... Is that it? There you go.
All right, bicep muscle, baby. Nice and strong, get your big biceps in there. All right, elbow joint is the function. Bicep curl or the curl machine are the two exercises we learned about, plus the chin. Mr. Moore-Henry?
Let's go to the sports factor. Mr. Mitchell, what do you got for us this time, Mr. Mitchell?
I'm sticking with the Super Bowl. Super Bowl's been around. There's been over 50 of them, as you know. Or maybe you didn't know that. I want to know who played in the first one.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Who played the first one? Who won the first one? And why did they have the first one? Why did they have the Super Bowl? What was the reasoning behind it?
That's a great one. I guarantee they don't know that one.
Jolly Geographer, what do you got?
I got some Jolly Ranchers. I got some Jujubes. And some ice cream. Which one would you like?
I'd go for the ice cream if I had a choice.
Strawberry, please.
Strawberry, indeed. Cookies and cream for myself. All right, guys. You guys walk past this creek all the time. Did you get the name of it? I hope you did. But today we're going to stick with creeks in your local environment And I want to know from you guys, what is the name of the creek that the Almaden Valley Trail, Almaden Lake Trail, goes adjacent to, all right? Many of you live there, you ride your bikes there, you walk by there, you see it every single day, most of you, and it goes from Almaden Lake all the way down, along Camden all the way down, far to Harry Road or wherever it is. What is the name of that creek?
That's a good question. Find out the answer, guys. Hey, one quick question before I share a joke. I'm interested, Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Shoemake, what is the worst injury you've ever experienced? The worst injury you've ever experienced. And please give me a pain level. 10, excruciating, 1, not painful at all, 5 in the middle.
You know, I think, if I'm being honest here, I have to say it was Mary Ellen Moffat. And she broke my heart.
She broke my heart! She broke his heart!
I think the worst injury I had physically was probably, I broke my wrist playing football one time. I'm not sure if that was the worst one. I'm going to go with that one just because I broke my wrist playing football one time, and I told my coach, you know, something's not right. I think my wrist is, and he's, oh, just take it out and get out there. So I played the whole second half of the game on a broken wrist, falling all over the place, breaking falls, just with, every time my hand touches the ground, I get a jolt all the way in my arms. Get back out there, and I'm thinking I'm toughing it out, and it was bad. They put it in a splint, and you know, wrapped it tight so it wouldn't move, and you know, 7th, 8th grade, I gotta tell you, I couldn't sit still. I mean, sitting in front of the computer screen, forget about it. I understand. That's why I say I understand. But we, you know, supposed to be not using it. Don't put any weight on it. Everybody around playing tag, playing football, I'm still falling on it. I think it was supposed to take 3-4 weeks to heal. Probably took about 4 months to heal because Mr. Shoemake just couldn't sit still. But I think physically that might be one of the worst ones.
All right. How about you, Mr. Mitchell?
All right, I'm going. I've had this knee problem, as you guys know, and I told you I got a brand new knee put in here made out of titanium. Yes, it's titanium! It all started on the first time I hurt my knee. Now, I've had 5 knee surgeries, but even before I had 5 knee surgeries, I had a heck of bad fall skiing. Let me give you the scenario. Ready? It's the last run of the day. I'm in Mount Snow. Mount Snow is in Vermont for you skiers. Okay? It's the last run of the day. The sun's going down. All the snow is turned to ice. Okay? Everybody's been running all day long. You know how that is if you ever ski up at Squaw or everywhere else. Okay? So I'm trying to do the last run as fast as I can. You know, I'm going to make it the best run I ever had. And I'm skiing and I'm moving and I'm flying down that hill. And I get to the last hairpin turn. And I'm moving, and I'm going to make that turn, and I'm going to make that turn, and I'm going to make that turn, but I can't make that turn because I hit a patch of ice. And I'm trying to turn, and I can't turn it. Right in front where the turn is a giant wooden fence. And I smash right into that fence. I poke holes through that fence. I go flying in and go flying back out again, and my patella cracks in half. Now, if you know what the patella is, it's your kneecap. And my kneecap just cracked. And so my knee just went boom, it just blew up like a basketball. And I tried to get up and I couldn't get up. And I'm sitting there on the slopes and my knee is like as big as a basketball and I know I'm not going anywhere. So what happens when you can't ski and you can't go anywhere? They call the guys in toboggan, they call those Red Cross guys, and sure enough, I was one of those guys that they took down on the toboggan. Took me all the way down, took me straight to the hospital. Put me in one of those contraptions where they have the weight pulley and they had my knee locked up for 3 straight days until my knee they thought was straight enough just to slap a cast on it.
Oh, man.
Oh,
That seems painful.
That was pretty painful.
Mine is a kidney stone. I'm not going to go into it. Look it up on the internet. Go to Google. Type in kidney stone. Read up on it yourself. Go for it.
I was going to ask, you talked about kidney stones earlier. How can you avoid getting kidney stones?
Well, my friends to my right and your middle left, they tease me because I do go to the bathroom more often than most people, but you know why? Because I drink so much water. I had kidney stones 2 different times. I'm willing to drink as much water as I need to, hydrated, Stay hydrated. For me, even extra hydration. Because that is the number one way to prevent kidney stones. The number one way to prevent kidney stones is to stay hydrated. Guys, I was fired from my job at the calendar factory. Yeah, it's true. I was fired from my job at the calendar factory. All I did was take a day off. Guys, I want to share one principle with you. Be fair, merciful, and humble. The quickest way to make friends, to keep friends, and to have faithful relationships with your friends is to be fair, merciful, and humble. Keep your head up. Stay positive. Keep that head up and walk with confidence. Keep it up. Keep moving forward.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, definitely keep your head up. Be fair, merciful, and humble. Be a better you today. Work a little bit harder today than you did yesterday. And keep on pushing. Push on 3, 1, 2, 3, push!